I know your name, I know you great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Chalanda Deborah, and I'm here with
Alisya.
Welcome, Alisya, to this episode of the All Things Unraveled podcast. This is the second episode of the friendship series where I and the people featured on the podcast come and give you the ins and the truths on this whole friendship thing that has so much that goes into it, right? The topic we'll be focusing on today is toxic friendships. Toxic friendships. What do you think of that subject?
I think that it's a good subject to talk about and that people are scared to talk about toxic
Definitely.
friendships.
Yeah. Like I mentioned, there's a lot that goes into it, right? And like you mentioned, people are scared to talk about it. Man, it's so weird because a part of me feels like people love to add toxicity on literally everything, just the word itself and even friendships. So like they might not be ready to get into the conversation, but they'll always be ready to call out people and call them toxic.
Exactly. I feel like it's a trend today to be toxic.
Same. I really feel like it's a trend, but it's interesting how it's a trend, but nobody wants to actually get into the subject.
Like, what is toxic?
Yeah, exactly. What is I was about to ask you that question. Okay, you're getting ahead. But yeah, talking about toxic friendships, do you know why I invited you specifically to be on this episode with me? Wonder why that is.
I do have like an idea, because I could say in a sense that we did have a kind of toxic friendship from my side. I could say that, but what else can I add?
That's why you think I invited you here today?
Yeah. Lucky.
So when I sent you that text asking you to
I
come
was
here,
shitting my pants. I was like, she said we're talking about toxic friendships. I'm like, okay.
So when I told you that in your mind, you were like, oh, it's me. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. Well, you're not completely wrong. You're not completely wrong, right? You have a good point.
Yeah.
I did invite you here to be on this episode with me because knowing you, right? We've known each other for quite a while, if I may say. And I feel like I've witnessed you go through a lot of different phases in friendships and just in relationships in general, whether it was romantic or just friendly, right? I've seen you go through quite some things that were toxic, you know?
Indeed.
Yeah, and so I've kind of felt it, and it affected me, affected our friendship, which then became toxic, right?
Exactly.
So, like, yes, it was on your part, but I don't know if I ever was toxic in a relationship, but that's something we'll get into eventually in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we go further into this conversation, do you want to present yourself, let the people know who you are, what you're about, and all that good stuff?
Okay. So yeah, my name is Alisya. I'm 20. I'm from a Haitian background, born and raised in Montreal. What else? I go to school. La Salle College in fashion marketing.
Fashion babes.
You know.
We love it.
And I feel like lately, my life has been getting on track because I really...
Those are things that get me emo, but I'm happy to hear that.
No, I'm actually happy right now.
Oh, it's good.
I'm in a good place.
Good. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Thank you for sharing this much about you and letting the people know who you are, what you're about, and all that good stuff. I kind of like to do this thing when I invite people to just let people know our background, how we know each other, and how our connection, our relationship is related to the subject, you know, to put you in context and the people watching as well. So do you want to open the floor and start with how we met and just let them know, or do you want me to do it? Or we could both do it, whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah.
So how did we met, actually?
Yeah, good question. I was thinking about that last time because I was like, because I do this, right? I have to let people know how we met and all that stuff. And I was like, how did we even meet?
I think it's Vanier.
It was the fashion show. It was the fashion show.
Yes.
Yeah. She used to go to this college, and there was a fashion show going on for Black History Month. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were both models, and
I saw her and I'm like, I want her to be my friend.
I don't
so good.
I didn't. Oh, thank you. But I don't remember that night.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where we that's where we met, and from there, did we start hanging out right away, or was it like a? I don't even. Or did we had mutual friends?
We did, and then we worked at this airport together.
Oh yes! How could I forget about that? Yes, we worked at the airport together.
Exactly.
I was like literally here, and her store was like
there,
so close.
Every break, I would go see her and steal food.
Yeah,
and she would do the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, baby. It was a ritual. Okay. We went from seeing each other once or two times for that fashion show thing, and then we started working together, so we would always see each other, we speak to each other, would go out a lot. Like we was outside. Okay.
Outside. I still have the videos.
Lord forgive me, but yeah, we was outside, and
I just felt like we connected. Like,
yeah, we did.
It was not
connected.
awkward at first.
Yeah, no.
I felt like she was my friend already.
Yeah, we really just connected. We talk about everything and anything. Just laugh a lot.
Yeah.
This girl, yeah, she would make me laugh a lot. What? She's funny. You're a sweetheart.
Too.
Man, oh, stop. Not now. So that's how we met, and we were pretty close up until Miss Ma'am got into. Can I say this, or do you want to say this part? Because
you can say it. I don't mind.
When Miss Ma'am over here got into a relationship.
Situationship.
Well, okay, situationship.
Y'all claim that, man.
Situationship. From that moment, right, that you were interested in that person and you were pursuing them, or pursuing each other, whatever, it was taking a huge part in your life, right? And I never blamed you for it, because it's normal. When you get into a relationship, you might have friends on the side, you might have family around you and all that stuff, but it's just, I feel like it's a phase you have to go through. It's normal for you to just be all about that person, to be all about that person and not hang out with your friends as much and be more in your corner. Well, people are gonna see it as you're really in your corner, but it's really not that. You're just really spending more of your time with your significant other, and that's why I was not blaming you for that, because I was like, it's normal, right? But when the more you guys got involved and intimate in that relationship, the more it affected you in your life, and I feel like that's what really triggered the toxicity in our relationship, because you were going through so much in that relationship. It affected your life, your emotional state, mental state, everything, right? And I was there witnessing it, and I was there for you while it was happening, and I got affected by it just because when you're so close with someone and you see them going through stuff like this, traumatic stuff, right? When you love someone, you try to be there as much as you can for that person. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to do, because I wanted to, not because I felt like it was forced or anything, because I knew you before that man, and now you're in a relationship. So to me, it was like, okay, how do I like adapt and, still be there for you, and, just learning and going through it with you. And so whatever was happening with you was happening to me. I was not conscious of that right away, because I was just letting you go through whatever you were going through and just trying to be there for you. And it's really near the end of our friendship. You can add anything if you want at any point, right? It was really near the end of our friendship that I felt like it was getting really heavy. Just too much for me to bear, because there was a lot of things that happened behind the scenes, and I just didn't know how I could be there for you anymore. I really just, I didn't know. It was taking a lot of my time, a lot of my energy, which I wanted to give, but I just felt like it was pointless. And so I was like, you know what, this is taking a toll on me. It's very emotionally demanding. So I'm just gonna step out of the situation, the friendship, and that's what I did. Stepped out of the friendship, and yeah. You were pretty understanding, but I mean, I'm sure it was not.
Like, I was not surprised. Like, I saw it coming almost, because I'm somebody that loves hard, okay? I've learned my lesson through times, but like when it comes to a guy, I would be the type of girl to like cut off everyone just for that boy, you know? Like I want to give him the world, I want him to like me, because I feel like as a black girl, when I grew up, I didn't really have like a lot of guys like running after me and whatever. So once I got into college, it was like a brand new world for me. And I literally got my first boyfriend in college at how was I was 17.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the fact that this man was giving me so much attention and whatever, I felt special in a sense. So I've realized that I've been a bad friend to not only her but to all other girls that were there for me, and I was kind of selfish in a way. Like I only put my feelings first. I never really like acknowledged other people's feelings. Like in the beginning, I didn't know that was hurting the Baha. Like it's really during like the end when she explained me something that was happening to her, and then I was like, oh shit. So she was going through this all this time, and I was only talking to her about my issues, calling her like every time something would go bad with him, I would call her and be like crying on the phone. She'd tell me, leave that man, leave that man. I would be like, okay, go back to him the next day. Like,
Yeah.
that was my issue.
It was a cycle. Yeah, it was a cycle.
That went on for like 6 months. It was a long time. So
yeah, 6 months might sound like nothing, but when you're in it, it's long as heck.
it was long as hell.
It's long. So yeah, that's really what made me call it quits, I guess. And that's why I wanted you to be here on this episode with me, because you're actually I've had toxic friendships, but I feel like the toxic friendships that I've been in, we kind of outgrew each other naturally. But you were the only and the first friendship in which I had to vocally express how I felt about the situation, and how to, I didn't even know, like I had to figure out how to step out of it. You know, it's the first time that I was in that position. So yeah, that's why I feel like you would be the perfect candidate. Or yeah,
Special.
that's the background story with me and Miss Alisya. So how would you describe a toxic friendship? What is that to you?
For me, a toxic friendship is a friendship that's not 50-50.
Oh yeah.
It's a friendship that somebody gives more than the other person is giving. Like somebody's giving like to 70% and the other person's giving 30, you know? That's someone that, let's say, is there for the person for anything, and then the other person is just like on their own time, they're gonna be there for you, you know?
Oh yeah.
So
on their own time. I really like how you said the other individual being there for you on their own time. And to me, that plays a huge part in toxic friendships, because when you don't make a conscious decision of you showing up in the friendship with the intention to love that person, to help that person, to encourage them, I feel like that really leads to a toxic friendship.
Yeah.
Because how do you want to build a healthy friendship when your intentions in that friendship are not even good? You know what I mean?
It comes from the start.
Exactly, the start. And it's a conscious decision that you have to make.
You know the expression, you have to love yourself before loving others? I feel like that's important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love yourself, how are you able to be a good friend? How are you able to like love somebody else?
Yeah.
And that plays a big part in friendships.
100%. Yeah. Because I feel like when people are being toxic to other people, right, it might be hard to realize it. It's not easy to see that you're being a bad friend to someone until that person comes up to you and tell you that you're being a bad friend. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it could be a slap in your face when somebody comes up to you and be like, you know, this and that going on. It's like someone's revealing stuff to you that you were not even aware of.
Exactly.
And it sucks, but I don't know, like those are just the type of things we need in life. Well, I didn't experience that, but I don't want to talk for you, but you know, I just feel like if I never said that to you, right, or whether it was us or other people, if the truth was never said, that probably never could have helped that person or never helped you in your other friendships. True. Or, you know? And talking about toxic friendships, right? When do you, in your opinion, think it's the right time, if there is a right time, because you never know when is the right time until you do it, but when is it the right time to call it quits, to step away from a so-called toxic friendship?
I feel like the second that it's affecting your personal well-being, that you should speak upon it. Maybe not call it quits, but you should at least like talk to the person and tell her or him how you feel.
Yeah.
And from then to see what they're gonna say, to see if you should call it quits.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. I really like the way you said maybe not call it quits yet, but to voice it first.
Yeah.
I was literally going to say the same thing because, okay, I don't feel like my opinion is going to be maybe a little controversial, but I feel like we live in a generation, right? This generation is so focused, and a generation that praises self-improvement, self-empowerment, and literally anything that starts with self. Like, anything that starts with self, it's you go, girl. We love to see it. And queen, and we love that. But I feel like we have come to a point where it's just bad. Like, literally anything that has to do with self, I just feel like we've abused it. And we are a generation that is borderline self-seeking. Like, we just always want to put an emphasis on us, what we need, what we want to get out of things, where we want to take ourselves, or where we're just very focused on us.
It's a
right?
selfish generation.
Yeah, a selfish generation. Nowadays, when I hear people talking about toxic friendships and anything bad relationships and all that stuff, it just amazes me. It blows my mind how people nowadays are just so quick to call it quits. Whether it be in friendships, marriage, anything. So quick to call it quits.
Yeah, I feel like this generation doesn't really fight for what they like care about.
Yeah,
and, like, what they want.
They don't prone that, not at all. And
They
especially
like to argue. Though.
Yeah, like to
fight.
argue, but to get where, we don't know. If you're in a relationship or friendship that is toxic, and you find that person's behavior is starting to trigger something in you, is starting to make you step away from your values and who you are, right? Why is it not okay for you to voice that, to have a conversation with that person, and to give them a chance?
I feel some people are just, I don't want to say scared, but in a sense they are, because talking about feelings, it's hard.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, telling people how you feel, for me personally, is really difficult.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Like, opening up to people about like what's going on personally, it might be hard. So to voice to someone that, like, because I'm personally going through a toxic relationship again. So I'm trying to tell my friend that it's being a lot for me, but I just can't. Like, I'm having trouble because she has issues, and she's always talking to me about her issues. So then I'm like, I can't talk to her about this because I'm just gonna add more to her, so I don't want to hurt her,
Yeah.
So for me, it'd be more of that, like,
just the fear of,
it's the fear of like hurting the other person, how the person's gonna take it.
For sure.
So yeah,
there's ways to go about it. Definitely. Like, you're not just gonna come in here and be like, "Child, I'm done with you. You've been hurting me and I'm over it. All you do is bring drama to my life." No, there's ways to do stuff. If that's how you've been dealing with your situation, no. That's just adding more trauma to the other person's life, and best believe they're gonna remember you. And that's not how you want to be. You want someone to remember you. But
exactly.
Yeah, I definitely feel what you're saying. It's important to choose your words wisely when dealing with these kind of situations. And I get that, it might be scary to... I don't remember if I was scared when I went up to you. I think I just thought of it a lot.
No, you... Because like I told you, I felt it coming. Because you literally, like, gave me little hints. And then one day you just let it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And, like, you started taking more distance also. So, like, I was like... Je m'en attendais.
Yeah, I'm good at that. Just distancing myself. I have to work on that. Because that's not okay. That's not okay. But I do understand where that can come from. To feel like you're adding more to that person's plate and you're not necessarily helping them. I felt that when I told you that I was stepping away, maybe weeks afterwards. I felt horrible, okay? Because I felt like I let you down, that I just like stepped out of your life when you needed me the most, or, when you needed extra support. And that's how I can understand that. It might be scary to go up to someone and tell them that, whatever you're going through is a bit much for me.
Yeah.
It can be scary, for sure. But, like, how do you go about it? How do you put yourself first? And no, not in a self-seeking way, because when you become someone who's, like, self-seeking, you don't acknowledge other people's feelings, and you're gonna make decisions based on your best interest.
Yeah.
But that's not what you want to do, right? You want to take the other person's feelings into consideration. So, like, what are some ways you think that you can go about it, this conversation?
I personally think it would be best, like, to, like, abort the, like, conversation, to talk about how you're feeling before you come say, oh, you've been a bad friend to me, or you did this to me and this is why I'm taking my distance. I feel like that's not how you should do it. You should more go like, well, I'm feeling this. I feel like you haven't been there for me. I feel like you know? Do not, like, go pointing fingers, go say, oh, you're the bad friend, you're the bad. No, that's gonna bring,
because that can trigger stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring ugly colors and tussle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like you should just be honest with yourself and honest with your friend. And I know it might sound hypocritical, but I don't think you should be scared to speak. If that's your friend, truly, you should feel comfortable to speak to that person.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. When you love someone, right, you want to take their feelings into consideration and you want to be honest with them.
Yeah.
And, yeah, honesty can be scary, but how are you a good friend when you decide to keep the truth from your friend and you just let her live in whatever it is that she's living in?
True.
You know, I don't know what verse it is in the Bible. Lord, forgive me, I'm so bad with remembering verses, but there's a verse in the Bible that says, paraphrasing, right, that says that to always be there for each other and to always say the truth to one another, because that's a form of love. And that's, I feel like, it's really important. Be honest with your friends. Let her know where you've been, and like you mentioned, don't point fingers. Just let her know where you've been at emotionally, and how it's the friendship has brought you to that place, right? Because you do have to make some kind of connection, because or else it's like, okay, what does that have to do with me? You know, exactement. So make the connection between how you're feeling and the friendship, and let her know, but in love. Don't be harsh or nothing. Just be honest, and you want what's best for her. You want what's best for her. And I feel like that's a bad habit, to want to stay there for someone when you've tried multiple times, right, to be there for that person, and the situationship or the friendship hasn't gotten better. It's a bad thing for you to stay there, because that translates into you approving of that person's behavior.
True.
And that's not what we want to do. We want to help each other evolve, right? And if you want to see your friend evolve, sometimes you do got to step away. You do got to step back to let her go through whatever it is that she's going through. And maybe she's going to realize that one day. Maybe not right away.
I'm just not a confrontational person. Like, I hate those situations, but there's sometimes that you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't.
It's part of life.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. Those are the moments that, you know, you could put yourself first, you know, after trying, right? Did you ever even mention that? Did you do that?
Yeah, I try to, like, give her little hints to, like, take my distance as well. But, like, it's like she doesn't understand. She doesn't get it. So I would have to be, like, more blunt and straightforward with her.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You bring up the subject, and keeping in mind that, you know, this is an open conversation. She might come back and want to put in the efforts to be a better friend to you. And if you feel like you can handle it, because at the end of the day, it's you, right? You have to make a decision that you can live with. If you feel like you can remain in that person's life and be there through their transition, because they're going to go from a toxic friend to a good friend. Yeah. Hopefully, God willing. So it's really a decision that, you know, you got to make.
Exactly.
It's not even just about you being in a toxic relationship. It's really about you helping that person as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been in a lot of toxic friendships, and how has that been for you?
Me personally, I'm not someone who had, like, a lot of friends. Like, when I was young, I went from school to school to
Yeah.
school, you know? So I've never set myself somewhere where I can have, like, that whole group of friends, you know? And I was in sports, like cheerleading, so I was always on my sport. Always, like, I didn't really have time to make friends. So when I would try to make friends, it was really in CJUP and end of Sec 5. That's when I would try to, like, get to know people and build friendships. I feel like I just didn't have enough experience with my, like, with friendships. Even today, I have trouble with, like, friends and, like, how to maintain friends, because I feel like, in a sense, I do stuff to, like, that makes me look like a bad friend, that if I would have gone through those experiences beforehand, I would have known by now what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole moving around schools and never being able to have, like, what's it called, a real friend, a true friend that I've known for, like, a while, just
Would have made your experience different.
yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
And I was someone, like, when I was younger, I was really, really, really close to my cousin. So it came a time that there was, like, drama in my family. So, like, that side of my family cut my side of the family. So me and my cousin eventually stopped talking. So for me, that was, like, a big downfall. And I never wanted to, like, open myself up to another, like, friend in that sense.
Yeah.
Because that hurt me. And I was like, that's my blood. So if my blood can, like, do this to me, this girl that I met at school, like, she might do the same to me. So my relationships, like, with men and my relationships with my friends, I feel like I put more effort in my relationship with men than my friends.
I used to be like that too, so I understand. Yeah.
So now it's le contraire. These
Yeah,
men,
we switching it
we
up.
dogging them.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No, we're just not focused on that, right? You're not digging nobody. Maybe your experiences have been bad, whether it be in friendships and relationships as well, right? But those are experiences. And God uses deceptions to make us better.
True.
He uses deceptions to prepare us for what's coming next, right? Because if you never went through that hard relationship with that other person, who knows? Maybe the next one that you're about to get into, God willing, you wouldn't even have known what to dodge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would have not noticed even the red flags.
Exactly.
Now I know from a mile away.
Exactly, and that's good. You know, that's
Yeah.
a good way to see it. Like, your bad experiences are there for a reason. You know, you look at them, you take the good, you take the
Exactly.
learnings, and we move.
Exactly.
We move.
You need to learn from that.
You learn from that. Yeah, we went from friendships to man, but it might seem like they're all the same, but I promise you that it's the right person. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen on both sides, right? But once those people are healed, it's meeting the right person, the man ordained or woman ordained by God, right? Meeting that person, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you bring out the best in that person, they bring out the best in you. That's why I feel like you just can't, you know, you can't go all your life and just avoiding men. I mean, you can choose to do that, but just to put them all in the same pot and just see them as these aliens and things that we don't want to approach.
No, there's some good men out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Being sarcastic.
No, I'm dead ass.
Yeah, they are, but you know, your man is probably somewhere there, and he has some healing to go through, just so like you do.
Exactly.
And
I want my men to come to me already healed.
yeah, because broken people and hurt people, they hurt people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a saying. I don't know who says that, but hurt people hurt people. And so, jumping back to toxic friendships, right? And even just relationships, I feel like it might not be, I don't know, you can tell me what you think of this, but because it's not completely well thought of, but I feel like it's not really the individual that makes the friendship toxic, but their circumstances and the emotional baggage that they're coming with, right? And
Yeah.
I know this might translate into, well, they're the one carrying it, so it's them. So that's why I'm saying it's not really well thought out, because I don't know, like, a situationship or a friendship can be toxic, not necessarily because that person is being toxic towards you, but because of their environment, because of what they're going through, you know, and you're just there and you have to go through it with them, and that's what makes it toxic on your part. It's not really their behavior.
I feel like most people that are toxic don't know that they're toxic. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. You had a lot of friendship with girls, right? That weren't necessarily genuine. Mm-hmm. Would you consider those friendships toxic? Or to you, they were not even friendships at all?
I would consider it toxic. Because if I can give an example, I had a friend that I met in high school, and that I thought we were really close, but through time I've realized that she was only like using me for her benefit. And that when she would find like she was a girl that liked to be around pretty women, so the second she would find like a pretty girl, she would be like, okay, like I'm gonna stop chilling with you, I found a new bestie, you know. And she would always be the type of girl to like tell me who to date and who not to date, who to see and who not to see.
Really?
Yeah. So I've like when I told you, I was literally like a little innocent girl when I came into college. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I just came into the lines then. I was like, okay.
Yeah, a lot of experiences and new things put in front of you. Yeah.
So this girl telling me, oh, this guy, he's not interested in you, so don't even try. But he was actually interested in me. Like,
so maybe, just giving you tips, but that didn't come.
Exactly.
The intentions were not good.
She had bad intentions.
Oh.
I would just say that was not even a friendship. So I can't even say it's a toxic friendship. It was
you
just
didn't
not.
Consider it a friendship.
No.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a true friend would not do that.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So, like, do you think that you can have a true friend? You can be like, y'all's friendship is real and genuine, but it's still toxic. Do you think that exists? That there's a balance between the two?
I personally do think it does exist, because if we look at us, I honestly considered you like a good friend and my close friends, and I really cared about you, and like I said, I was selfish.
Yeah.
And I did not realize I was being selfish. So it took me time to realize that I was being toxic, but that, like, I love this girl. Like, to me, like, when she told me that, I was like, huh?
Yeah, it was like another bad news attitude.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So it took me time to realize, like, the things that we're doing that were not, like, good. So, yeah, I truly believe that you could be true friends yet still be toxic. Because I didn't know. Yeah. But I feel if you know that you're being toxic, are you being a true friend?
Yeah. That's a very good question. Good point. Because from the moment you're aware of it, right? It's on you to do better. It's on you to make the conscious effort to show up in a different way in that relationship. And if you decide that you don't want to do that, then do you actually consider that person? Do you actually love her?
Exactly.
Do you, like, imagine that? Oh, child, no. Imagine being in a friendship with someone who knows they're being toxic and just doing it still.
There's people that do it, girl. Trust.
Yeah.
They just do it to have the friends label.
Yeah. Yeah. The friends label. We're past that. Please. Please. If you want to come in and disturb my peace, you want to come. We don't want that. It's only genuine. I was going to say genuinency. We only want genuine things, genuine connections, and please.
Yeah.
Nothing else. With all the experiences that you've had in your friendships and in your relationships that you could label as toxic, are there any major learnings that you could share with us today?
I could say, but this is a saying that everybody says, but I honestly really believe in it, is that if they wanted, they would. So if you see yourself putting so much effort to be this person's friend, to be this person's significant other, and they're not like giving the same energy back, just back out. You're wasting your time.
You are.
Because time is money. Why you out here wasting your time trying to like pursue this person that's not even giving the same effort?
Yeah.
Like, you're just wasting.
It's pointless.
It is.
It's pointless, to be honest, and you're gonna be the one hurt at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we had to learn that the hard way.
Indeed.
Through stupid situations, but at least we were aware of that now.
Exactly.
We're aware of that now for sure. How can people realize when they're in a toxic friendship?
If you're only talking to that person when things go bad, that's toxic. Yeah. Like, you should be able to like have a conversation with this person, like even like when things are going good. I could like compare this like with relationship to God, like a lot of people are gonna start praying when like things go south, like they go bad. They're gonna start praying, and then when things are like going good, they won't pray. They just they don't even take on knowledge of what like the good that God's putting into our lives. So I feel like in friendships, that if you only like want to like talk to your friend, or if your friend is only coming to you with her problems and like never asks you about your problems, that's toxic, because it's selfish.
And you might not realize that you're in a toxic situationship or relationship at first, right? But little things like these, it's going to catch up to you.
Exactly.
It's going to catch up to you, and when it catches up to you, that's when it gets overwhelming. Okay. And that's when toxicity is this big label. It becomes this huge label. So yeah, you do want to pay attention to little details in your friendships before it gets to that point. Yeah, definitely. I want to say thank you
for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming, child. You didn't have to, but you did, and I'm really grateful that you accepted to do this with me, because this toxic friendships, talking about it, knowing that you've gone through a lot of toxic relationships, and coming on here and not even knowing what you're going to be talking about can be stressful, and I thank you. You kept it composed. You were good.
I didn't cry.
You didn't exactly. We didn't get there, but yeah, it was really good to have this conversation with you. And honestly, I really hope that you get better in all your friendships, that you keep working on yourself, and that you working on yourself allows you to show up in a different way in your friendships, and to help you choose your friends wisely. And I hope that you don't lose hope in good friendships or men, and that you allow give chances to people, and keep your heart open. Because I'm sure I'm sure God has that, just like he has your man. He has that one friend, that one friend that will, come and fulfill your heart and bring you to him, and just be that friend, be that supportive and loving friend that we all need, right? So it was really good to have you and speak about this.
Thank you.
So this was it for this episode of the Friendship series, where we touched on all things about toxic friendships. Thank you all for watching today's episode of the All Things Unraveled podcast, and I will see you all on the next one.
I know your name, I know you great. Yeah.